Okay, raise your hand if you thought the Lakers being knocked out by a Rudy Gobert 27-point and 24 rebound performance was on your bingo card. Because it wasn't on mine. And if it was on yours, you're a liar. Yo, what are you saying? Welcome back to ISOJ. The Lakers are now eliminated from the playoffs, and the Houston Rockets survive another day. Let's get into last night's game, shall we? We'll start off with the light work, the admin. The Rockets just blew out the Warriors. That is really what I wanted to see. After such a close loss that they had, it's nice to see that this young team bounces back. Now on the brink of elimination, it's 3-1, and they bounce back. They came back to win this game in dominant fashion. Okay, Jalen Green didn't have a great one, but Alperen Sengun was active. The first half, he had like 7 assists. Dylan Brooks finished with 24. Fred VanVleet was on fire. It's like he had another baby. This Rockets team has a little bit more to show. Amen Thompson was the best player on the court on a day where it had Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green. Amen Thompson was that guy. 8 of 12 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 25 points, 3 blocks, 5 steals, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. What a night for the young man. I don't think this series is over yet. If there's anything that I got from this game, it was that this Houston team is willing to fight for it. Evidently so. They were. Jalen Green did not have a great night, but to be honest, I did not expect him to. I've really quelled my expectations of Jalen Green down to nothing. I hope he shows up on the night. Like physically, I hope he's there. That's about it. I can't keep getting my hopes up for this guy. Freddie, 26 points, 2 assists, and a rebound. I will say, this game was closer than it had any right to be. I know it's a 15-point loss for the Warriors. Third stringers really kept them alive in this one. So much so where there was a point where Pat Spencer gets ejected. Pat Spencer had a great game. 5 of 7 from the field, 11 points. He gets ejected, and they are within striking distance. I know Steve Kerr emptied the bench midway through the third quarter, and that's when I fell asleep. But upon watching this game again, you could just put Steph Curry in there and just see what happens. I know you don't want to risk the injury, and you could just end up tiring Steph out more, but there was a shot. With the greatest three-point shooter in the world, any lead is not insurmountable. In my haste to get the video out, I also forgot this tiny point. I think Golden State really struggled this game, and especially in the first half, you saw such good zone defense. It was really taking advantage of the double big lineup and the amount of space that 2 big men can take up on the court. Steven Adams is a very intimidating interior presence, and you also have Alperen Sengun, who is, they're both giants. I think that's one of the big reasons this lead ballooned the way it did. Was there was no way you could get any penetration out. And this Rockets team, as I've said before, is young and can easily close out when need be. Amen Thompson being the point of attack defender on Steph Curry. There was that big steal he got to the dunk of Amen Thompson. Like, that is pretty much personifying how this defense is you just have the zone behind him, let Amen Thompson work and be a pest to, the best player on the court, and just see how that ends up. Yeah, no, Ime Udoka really cooked on their defensive assignments this game. I think it's just such a good way to stifle this Warriors team, is if you eliminate the easy twos that they can get through, ball movement and, how they can wrap the ball around. There are a lot of points where, like, they can get the ball to Draymond Green to see if he can find someone cutting. But Sengun and Steven Adams are right there, and it's hard to find someone cut behind 2 giants like that. So, Ime Udoka, good job on coaching that. Back to the rest of the video. You should probably like the video and subscribe if you're here. That'd be cool. Have a good one. But that's how it ended up. Golden State lose 116-131. And let's just talk about the main event here. The Minnesota Timberwolves have knocked out the Los Angeles Lakers 103-96, and it wasn't the usual suspects. Anthony Edwards did not have a great night. 5 of 19 from the field, 0 of 11 from the 3. I love the idea. Like, I never want to see a player go 0-3. I want to see you go 0-11. That means you never lost confidence in yourself. I say you didn't have a great night. That's a near triple-double for Ant. 15 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. And where those assists come from, you might ask? Well, the most unlikely of superheroes stepped up last night. The Stifle Tower, Rudy Gobert, 12 of 15 from the field, 15 rebounds, 9 offensive, 27 points total, 2 blocks. Okay, yeah, none of us expected this. We didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know Rudy was capable of a game like that, but very much he was. This game was not the best performance shooting-wise. And I think, to be honest, if you remove Anthony Edwards from the equation, it's not that bad percentage-wise. But they made 14%. Okay, I'll be nice. They made 15% of their threes. 7 of 47. This was not a good night, but they still managed to get the win here. The Lakers really faltered in that fourth quarter, and it just felt like they couldn't hit the broadside of the bomb. And this leads to the question of, as I will ask any team upon elimination, what is the next move for the Lakers? What happens now? Because the idea of getting Luka Doncic, amazing, right? What a home run of a trade. The problem is you didn't get any of the parts that help to make Luka Doncic Luka Doncic. Like, you have the shooting. You know, I can trust Austin Reeves some nights. The playoffs this year haven't been great for him. I can trust Austin Reeves. I can trust Rui Hachimura. I can trust Dorian Finney-Smith. After that, the list starts to get small. The big criticism of this game that I've seen everyone talk about was the lack of an interior presence. If Rudy Gobert is having a generational night on you, oh my, oh my. Oh my. They don't have a body who can stop him. JJ Redick brought out Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber has not played since January. They brought him out and said, hey, can you do something that Jackson Hayes can't? The problem is they just don't have a big. We thought that the Mark Williams trade would fix things, and Mark Williams really got his own back in a tweet and an Instagram post. But regardless, you got your own back. They traded for you and then said, nah. But the lack of a big man really hurt this Lakers run. Like, not just this team, not just this game, but the whole playoff run in general. There is no one to get rebounds. There is no one to be a rim runner for Luka. And without that rim runner, Luka Doncic loses a little bit of the threat. You know, the hunt on Luka Doncic on defense. Because, quite frankly, he is not able to stop anyone. Maybe I get it from Nico Harrison now. The fact that Luka Doncic cannot stop anyone on defense, yes, that's a problem. But the fact that you have no one behind him who can back him up effectively, that's worse. If somehow, like, I'm sure the Mavs are not doing another trade with the Lakers. Like, no. Criminal. Dude, no. But somehow, if they can get Derek Lively, if they can get Daniel Gafford, then I can start to see the pieces they're putting around. This offseason for the Lakers is important because when you trade for a player mid-season, you don't get to really build around them properly. You don't get to figure out the pieces you want. You have to adjust with what you have on the fly. And whilst they had a great regular season, it's still not the full potential of this roster. Like, they went from a team that was defense oriented, right? You had Anthony Davis protecting your backline, and that is a great pairing. LeBron and AD was great. You replaced AD and all of his defense, and like, for what it's worth, they were a great defensive team before the trade. You replace that with the raw offensive power of Luka Doncic. The dynamic of your team shifts. You now focus on a different thing. That thing might not be what you aimed to build this team around in the offseason. So you're at a bit of an odds with yourself and the roster in itself and the construction. I still think things can be remedied in the offseason. I think rim running bigs are not like crazy expensive. I'm sure you can find one, you know, or you can find like screen setters, rim runners, offensive rebounders. I don't think that's a problem. But yeah, enough talk about the Lakers. We need to talk about the Timberwolves, man. A lot of people discounted this Timberwolves team, me included. I think a lot of people also fell victim to the Shannon Sharp Lakers in 5 things. I think this Timberwolves team deserves a lot of the praises that should be coming their way. Of course, because they're playing against the Lakers, people are going to focus on, oh man, the Lakers lost. How do we fix this? What's the problem? Let's celebrate the Timberwolves here. Because, goddamn, Anthony Edwards has knocked out LeBron James, his kryptonite last year, who beat him in the conference finals, by the way, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Nikola Jokic. This man is on a tear and he is coming for next. Anthony Edwards is unashamedly that guy. As for the future for this team in this current playoff run, I do think this might be a big one. I think conference finals is what they're aiming for. They have the Warriors or the Rockets in the next round. So I don't think either of those teams can cause a problem for the Timberwolves. Like, I think they have enough in place to stop the Rockets. The reason why the Rockets, I thought they would win their series against the Warriors is size. The Timberwolves match up pretty well in terms of size. Yeah, they don't have the double big lineup that they used to, but Julius Randle is 6'9" and still hits like a truck, you know? Genuinely, this team could be an NBA finalist. Yeah, you got to beat the OKC Thunder to get there. I understand that is a task in and of itself. If there's anyone who could do it, and if there's anyone who I believe in right about now, it's that Anthony Edwards guy, man. Ooh. Anyway, enough talk. I have been yapping for way too long. That's it. Anthony Edwards is that guy, man. What can you say? Jeez. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoy your day. If you liked the video, please go ahead and leave it a like. If you liked it that teeny tiny bit more, subscription goes a long way. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye-bye now.